Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're doing a Dinomist deck profile. So I'm really excited with this one because this deck is an insanely good deck that actually is probably my favorite Pendulum deck ever created. I'm not a super big fan of Pendulums, but this is actually probably my favorite Pendulum deck to play because it's a really fun deck that has so many different extra deck monsters that you can put in here, from Totally Awesome to Cyber Dragon Infinity, that are really, really good. And I've even made this extra deck so spicy that you guys are going to love it. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below because we have some awesome rewards for you guys, like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting a side card sent in the mail, or even getting a requested deck profile just like this one, along with test hands included now. So without further ado guys, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dinomist Rex. So Dinomist Rex is a really good Pendulum monster that has the ability that once per turn, when this card is in your Pendulum zone, you can negate the inactivation of a card effect that targets another Dinomist card you control and then destroy this card. Not that big of a deal because it gets it out of your Pendulum zone, because usually you're already going to have Pendulum summon, but it's a really good card to just deal with targeting effects. It also has the ability that if this card attacks, at the end of the damage step, you contribute one of the Dinomist monster to activate one of these effects. That if this card makes a second attack during an opponent's monster in a row, and if it does, and if it attacks, spins your monster, inflicts piercing damage to your opponent's monster, or shuffle one card from your opponent's hand at random or their side of the field into the deck, and then this card gains 100 attack, which that's pretty good to just instantly get something off of your opponent's side of the field, and it doesn't target, which is insanely good. We play 3 copies of Brachion, the Dinomist Brachion. This card's really good that once per turn, while this card is in your Pendulum zone, you negate the activation of a card that targets another one of your Dinomist monsters and destroy this card. And if you do not control a Dinomist Brachion in your main monster zone, and your opponent controls a monster that has the highest attack on the field, then you can special summon this card from your hand. That's pretty good just to instantly get a level 5 water monster on your side of the field. We then play 3 copies of Dinomist Ceratops. Ceratops is really good too because it has the ability that if another Dinomist monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect, you can destroy this card instead. And if all monsters you control are Dinomist monsters, minimum 1, and none are Dinomist Ceratops, you can instantly special summon this card from your hand, and you don't even have to Pendulum summon it out. You just instantly get it on your side of the field. I play 2 copies of Dinomist Spino. Spino is really good too. It's probably one of my favorite ones because it can attack twice, but it has the ability that if another Dinomist card you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy this card instead, and you contribute 1 Dinomist to activate one of these effects. It can attack directly this turn, or this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. That's pretty good to be able to attack your opponent with a 2500 beat stick. And if you have Miss Starboy on your side of the field, you're also going to get it to 3k. That's pretty nice. We then play 3 copies of the level 4 Dinomist monster, Petran. This card's really good because if another Dinomist card you control will be destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect, then you can destroy this card instead. And then when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add a Dinomist card from your deck to your hand. So it searches upon destruction of your opponent's monsters, which is pretty good. I wish it was just normal summon, but hey, whatever. We played 3 copies of Peleos. Peleos is pretty good too because once per turn, when this card is in your Pendulum zone, you can negate the activation of a card that targets another Dinomist and destroy it. And then all face-up monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dinomist you control. I like this card as a normal summon or to Pendulum summon out to make my Bahamut Shark, so I like playing this card at 3. We then play a single copy of Rescue Hamster for the Dinomist package. You manage this card from your Pendulum zone and then add 2 Pendulum monster cards with the same name from your extra deck to your hand, which helps out quite a lot. And if this card is normal summon and you have a face-up level 5 or lower Pendulum monster in your extra deck, you can tribute this card and choose one of those level 5 or lower Pendulum monsters in your extra deck, and then special summon 2 from your deck with the same name. So if you have like a copy of Ceratops on your side of the field and you don't have, and they're both, the other 2 are in the deck, then you can normal summon out Rescue Hamster and then immediately special summon the 2 Ceratops from deck to go into an Infinity, which is pretty good. So that's it for the Dinomist package. Let's get into the other tech cards that we're playing in this deck. So we're going to be playing the Symphonic Warrior engine in this deck now. I really like the Symphonic Warriors. So we're playing 3 copies of Guitar. Guitar is when this card is normal summon, you get to target a Symphonic Warrior monster in your graveyard and special summon it. But if it's in your Pendulum zone, you can discard the card to special summon a Symphonic Warrior from your deck, which is pretty good, except another copy of itself. And then the card that you're always going to special summon off of it is Symphonic Warrior Mike's. Mike's is really good because it it has the ability that you can special summon this card from your hand by removing 3 Symphonic Warrior counters. And after you normal or special summon this card, you can normal summon 1 additional time during your main phase, which is pretty good. Essentially gives you an additional normal summon, and it's a level 5 machine monster that can get you into a Nova and then into an Infinity, which is really good. And it's a link fodder too, so it's just a really, really good card. And also with Symphonic Warrior Guitar being a high scale level, you can synchro or pendulum summon into your other monsters, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Quick Draw Synchron. I like playing the Quick Draw Synchron in this deck. It's a level 5 machine that you just have to discard a card to special summon it, and it's a tuner monster, which can help us get into Needle Fiber and get into some other really neat plays. I like this card as a 3-of in the deck because you can send a monster from your hand to the graveyard and then special summon this card, and you can substitute it for any Synchron tuner monster, which you're usually not going to do. You don't Synchro in this deck, really. You just essentially, I mean, you kind of Synchro. You have a little bit of Synchro plays that you can go into, but it's a really, 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 really good aspect of the deck to be able to use this card to go into other cards. So that's it for your that's it for those. We're going to be playing 2 more tuners. We're going to be playing 2 copies of Despot 01. Despot 01 works with the Auroradon combo, where you go for, you can special summon this card out from the deck, and then if you have it in the graveyard, then you can just special summon it back to your side of the field if you special summon more than 1 machine monster. Especially if you summon this with another monster and get 2 of them in the graveyard, they both revive themselves, and then you can start synchro climbing and link climbing, which is pretty good. I like that ability a lot, to be able to link climb. And then you play 3 copies of Ash Blossom as well, just to kind of shut your opponent down. These could be 3 effect veilers if you feel like you're going up against Utopic Zexal too much, but it pretty much works with the 3 Ash Blossoms. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Called by the Grave because we do quite a lot of searching in the deck, which is, you know, not a great thing to get hit with Ash Blossoms. So the Called by the Grave helps out a lot in this deck to be able to just stop your opponent from doing all sorts of stuff against you. We play a single copy of Double or Nothing because it's really, really nice to be able to search Double or Nothing off Utopia Double and then 10,000 attack your opponent. 3 copies of Dinomist. Charge is the last 3 spells. We don't play very many spells in this deck at all because you play so many Pendulum monsters in the deck. But what this card does is when it's activated, you add a Dinomist from your deck to your hand, and then once per turn, if a Dinomist you control is a Dinomist is added from your field to the extra deck, you can choose one of those cards in your hand. You can add one of those cards to your hand, so it kind of bypasses the whole extra deck thing, which is kind of nice because it doesn't care if they go to the extra deck. You just add them back to hand if you have Charge. And Charge is probably one of the best, in my opinion, Pendulum cards ever released for Master Rule 5. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps, which we play 3 copies of Howling. Howling is insanely good. Now when this card is activated, you place 1 or 2 Pendulum monsters from your deck in your Pendulum zone that's Dinomists. So it can just instantly give you your scales, which is insane. I mean, if this was in any other archetype, this card would be banned, like, right off, because it just instantly gives you your scales. I mean, that's insane. And then it has the ability that you cannot Pendulum summon monsters until the end phase of the next turn, except Dinomist, which is fine. I mean, that's not a big deal. We can normal summon a lot of our stuff out anyways. And then once per turn, if this card is already face up in your Spawn Trap card zone, you contribute a Dinomist monster and then target 1 card your opponent controls and return it to the hand. So it bounces stuff too. I mean, this card is insanely good. It bounces, it gives you your scales, and it's just good. It's just an overall really, really good card. So that's it. The only downside is that you can't Pendulum summon anything but Dinomist. We don't really care about that. So that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're opening up strong with an Infinity. You need the Infinity because you're going to go into Nova and then immediately overlay into Infinity to give you that extra negate and gobbling up an opponent's monster. You also play Bahamut Shark and a copy of Totally Awesome because you can overlay into Bahamut Shark with 2 of your level 4 waters and then summon Totally Awesome to be able to have an additional negate on your side of the field. Utopia and Utopia Double. You go Utopia Double, search your Double or Nothing, summon Utopia Double, or Utopia on top of Utopia Double, attack your opponent, detach a material, drop Double or Nothing, and OTK your opponent with a 10,000 beat stick. We play Abyss Dweller to shut down Graveyard, and it makes all of our water monsters go up by 500, which is really good. And then number 60, Timeless, to be able to give us that draw 2, discard 1, double the attack of a monster. or even has the ability to let you special summon a monster in your graveyard in defense position, which can give us additional link materials. We play a single copy of F.A. Don Dragster, which is one of the 2 synchro monsters that I chose to play in this deck. It's really easy to synchro into this. If you go a Auroradon combo, you can use a Deskbot 01 and go Deskbot 01 into 2 of the tokens to summon the F.A. Don Dragster to negate spells and traps, which is pretty good to be able to get you those additional plays on your side of the field. Herald of the Arclight, you can actually make this pretty easy in the deck as well. You just use one of the tokens plus a copy of your Deskbot 01. So if you end up with 2 Deskbot 01s on your side of the field and 2 of the tokens of Auroradon, the tokens are level 3s. So you use your one of your tokens and your copy of Deskbot 01 to go to your Arclight, and then you use the second token or the 2 other tokens plus your copy of Deskbot 01 to go Don Dragster, and you end with 2 negations on board with a spell and trap and an anything negate, so it's pretty good. We then play Appaloosa. Appaloosa is really good in this deck too because she just gives you additional monster negates. She's really easy to link into, and it's a really good card. We play a single copy of Auroradon. Auroradon is really easy to go into this deck because you play so many machines in the deck. You don't even have to use full combo with Needle Fiber to go into the card, but it's super nice to be able to go full combo with Needle Fiber in this deck. When it's summoned, then you get special summon 3 tokens that are level 3 onto your side of the field. That's really good. And since you have Deskbot 01, you can also special summon the 2 Deskbot 01s from the graveyard if they're in the graveyard, and then use them as synchro material for the Herald of the Arclight and the F.A. Don Dragster. So basically, if you get your 2 copies on your side of the field, it's really easy to go off, because what you're going to usually do is normal summon out the Deskbot 01, and then pendulum summon out the other monster, and then link them together for a copy of your Needle Fiber, and then Needle Fiber special summon the second Deskbot 01, and then you'll go Needle Fiber plus Deskbot 01 into this, and then it'll give you 3 tokens, and it'll bring back the other 2 Deskbot 01s that are in the graveyard, and then you synchro for these 2. And you end with a copy of Auroradon, and then these 2 on your side of the field, and then you have Howling in the back row if you need it to give you additional plays. Then we play a single copy of Phoenix just to hit spells and traps if we need to. Needle Fiber to help us out with the combo that I just explained. And a copy of Mistar Boy to boost us up by 500, which is really nice because it also works with all the water monsters in the deck. And the link zones are really important because of Master Rule 5 with your pendulum monsters. But Charge kind of helps out a lot with that because they just go to your hand instead of going to your extra deck. So you kind of don't have to worry about the pendulum zones as much with this deck, which is really nice. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. It's a really fun deck. Be on the lookout for test hands. I'll probably try and do some test hands of Dinomist soon. It's an insane deck that plays like literally the 2 best negates in the game, which for any deck, which is Infinity and Toad, which is really cool that you can actually play both in the deck. It's very rare that you can see a deck that can play both. This might be one of the only decks that can play Toad and Infinity in the same field, which is really cool. And Appaloosa. Like, Appaloosa can be splashed into anything, but Infinity and Toad and Appaloosa, like, you face that down and you're going to scoop. Like, it's over with. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell on there so you can come part of the notification squad, and definitely tell what you think of this deck down in the comments down below. Try it out. It's very budget. You can change out the Appaloosa if you need to for Borreload, which would be pretty budget as well. But anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.